So yeah, you guys are, and now we do entanglements, where I roll and see what kind of bad stuff crops up during your downtime.
We
4. Uh, the usual suspects. A bluecoat grabs someone from the periphery of your crew. One of the players volunteers a friend or a vice purveyor as the person most likely to be taken. So, and then I will make a fortune roll to find out how they resist questioning, or you can pay off the bluecoats with 2 coin. Now, by the way, you guys got 5 coin off of this job. Your crew itself already has 3 coin. They can only hold 1 more. Do you want to put 1 to the crew and then 1 to each of you, including Leah, even though her player is not here?
I think we can all agree that I can watch over the coins for all of us.
I think 1 and then everybody 1 would make sense.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Okay.
I mean, I agree that giving it all to Zing is an option, but I don't think it's the option we're going to take.
Fair. So I will mark 1 here on the crew, and then I will give 1 to Leah, and you guys can each put 1 on your character sheets.
Already done so.
I would offer Farouk my coin.
Let me see. And the cult as a whole can't hold on to anymore, right? So
correct.
Do we actually want to stand behind our contact and pay off the bluecoats?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to take those out of the coin of the cult as a whole?
I think that Lan, if you're willing to give up a personal coin, I'll do it too, and
Sure,
we'll be strangely altruistic.
Gotcha. And who was getting picked up before you pay off the bluecoats? We still need to know that because it makes a difference. So who do you think? Not someone directly involved in your crew, not one of your acolytes or adepts, I guess. Which, like, somebody's one of the friends listed on your playbook, or contacts listed on the crew character sheet, or a vice purveyor of one of your guys' vices.
I mean, I imagine Mercy would be very pissed if she got picked up.
You want it to be Mercy, just to piss her off?
Unless somebody has another suggestion, I imagine it could be Mercy for sure.
And hopefully, they won't be pissed off by the end of it when we take care of the situation for them.
Well, I mean, there's still the whole hassle of getting picked up and taken to the Bluecoats station and all of that.
Yeah, but that was on them. We're just helping out.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, okay. So it's
anyway. That's certainly how Farouk would spin it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who actually goes down to the station and pays off this bribe?
I'll do it.
Sure. I imagine Lan would be too shy to go.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah.
And I wouldn't care. I don't think wouldn't care.
About Mercy or about going down to the Bluecoats?
Yes.
Okay.
Hasa, tell me a little bit about how Mercy got picked up and how Farouk found out about it, so that I can frame this scene a little bit better.
And Mercy is your personal contact, right?
Yeah. Mercy is a friend of my family, and she's basically been, hanging around here. She's a hired killer to keep an eye on. And I think I think someone found out about the link between her and me. And I thought that, that might be an interesting way to do. So she wasn't doing something particularly. She was just, sitting in a bar somewhere, doing business maybe. When Bluecoats came in and, told her to follow, and, she was smart enough not to resist because she was pretty sure they didn't have anything on her anyway. Usually she's pretty good at tying up loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
So they just took her along with them. And I'm not sure how Farouk heard about it. Maybe they dropped like one of our names, and she just sent her attorney or something to get him.
Okay. So she got an attorney and got sent over to him. Sure. So Farouk, a solicitor, dressed in a crisp clothing and a fine vest and slacks, and he has a nice pocket watch tucked into his vest with a nice chain going up into the vest. Comes and finds you at the cathedral and says, Mr. Farouk, a friend of yours is, how would you say, detained by the Bluecoats, and has requested you come down to the station and speak with them on her behalf.
Well, we always look after our friends. Let us be about it.
Okay. So yeah, he leads you back to the Bluecoats station nearby, and you see Mercy, that as a friend of Lan's, sitting in a cell. She kind of waves at you.
I'll just give her Farouk's sort of manic crazy eyes and a slight nod in return.
Right. Okay. And so one of the Bluecoats comes up to the the desk and says, sees you interacting with Mercy, and says, "Oh, we just need a bit of information out of her, or you could help us out." And he makes like a tapping at the desk, because it's like the universal symbol for, I'm not gonna tell you to leave a bribe on the table, but
probably should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that there has been a small paperwork error, and I would hate for that to sour things. And I'll hold out my hand to shake his, and there may happen to be a couple of coins in it when I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So you just hand those coins on over, and the guy behind the desk, he nods and says, "Oh, you're right. Look at this paperwork. Just total mess." And he just kind of shoves it into a waste paper basket off the edge of the table, and then goes back and lets Mercy out. And she's spitting mad. Once you guys get out of the station, like, she was totally calm while waiting in the cell, but she's like, "Cannot believe the nerve of those men. Would have ripped their eyes out if I'd had half a chance." And like, she just degrades into a string of profanity that is quite impressive. as you guys make your way back to the cathedral.
I imagine Lan is sitting in a tower somewhere, cowering, knowing what's coming.
And the whole way walking back, Farouk is just like a walking advertisement about how, yes, the bluecoats poke their nose into everything, but the light of Dionia is the only way through. It's it is only by following in her mysteries that such mundane troubles can be consistently avoided.
Okay.
I'm sure she'd make a sharp remark about how it is curious that the Shroud of Daenea got her into this trouble in the first place.
Yeah, I think a response like that would be more like, well, you could interpret it that way, and that would be an easy mistake to make. Yet it was the bonds of friendship that I believe caused that to happen. The Shroud is innocent of that. It is, again, the one true path. If there shall be travails along the way, it is only to make us stronger.
Yeah, and I think I think Mercy is kind of tired of your tirade by this point, and just kind of nods or whatever, and she goes up to where Lon is cowering, and says, "Well, your friend here is," and she tries to think of a word that.
What is he?
And she was gonna say something, but then she shakes her head and she's like, something else. She can't think of an appropriate term to call Farouk in this situation. But so she's safe. Do you have anything to say to her, Lon?
I don't think he'd know what to say. He'd just he'd be really awkward. He'd say something along the lines of I don't know, what would be insulting in this case. You know what people do when they really don't know how to what to do with themselves, and then they just insult someone to deal with the situation, even though that doesn't solve anything. I see you needed Farouk to get out of there.
She scowls and says, "I didn't need him, but he showed up before I could do anything about it."
Happy coincidence. Although maybe I'm not actually in the conversation now, so.
Yeah, I think not.
Okay.
Lan just responds with, "Okay, you can leave now." She
scowls again, shakes her head, and just kind of stalks out.
Kids.
Yeah, what do you so I think that brings us into our downtime activities. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I have something on my to-do list. I don't know if I can combine those, but would it be a feasible thing to say that Lan goes to try and look at where this girl is. Rather, he goes to bring back the girl and her mother, and then finds out that she's missing, and then just runs to Farouk and is like, "Farouk, she's gone. What do I do?" Kind of to purvey my vice.
Oh.
And maybe also as my second action, maybe turn it into one big thing where I also try to use it to reduce heat by going to this guy and being like, "Sorry, I screwed up. You know, how can I make it up to you?" So I would come forward.
Like returning his wife and kid would definitely be an action I would count to reduce heat, but since his daughter is missing, it's gonna be a little bit tough to actually reduce the heat that way unless you can produce the daughter. But she may be home safe. You don't know. She's just you don't know where she is. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think like I would go to Farouk, ask him what he'd do, and after that, depending on what he say, I might just go to the guy and be like, "Hey, sorry, you know, I'm the one who kidnapped your wife and daughter, and I screwed up. How can I make it up to you?"
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah. So, totally going to Farouk for advice on this is definitely indulging your vice. So you can roll on that, but I definitely also like to see Farouk play out said advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you do have the wife still. You just don't have the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as a show of good faith, let us return this man's wife, but say that the daughter has been called. She is still with the spirit, and in the fullness of time, she may be returned.
But where is the daughter? I mean, we don't know if she's home already or not. What do I do, Farouk?
Well, I perhaps if you wish to put time into this triviality, you could check to see if the daughter has returned, and then let it play out accordingly. But if she has not returned, it is providence, not a meanness or unwillingness to comply.
Bless you.
I will definitely do what you say, Farouk. Thank you for guiding me.
Always.
So yeah, I will run off to go do what Farouk told me to do. So I will see if the daughter has returned home or not.
Okay. That's gonna be a fate roll. How are you going about finding out this information? Are you asking around? Do you just show up at his house?
I'm just going to sneak around his house, like looking through the windows, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe even break in to see if she's inside.
Okay. That sounds like you're prowling around.
Does
Do you agree?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll it. There's no negative consequence. The better you roll, the better the result is. Oof. That's not terribly good. You see no sign of her when you break into his house. He's not there. She's not there. It doesn't look like anyone's been there in 24 hours at least.
Well, I guess I'll just have to do what Farouk tells me to.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. It could possibly go wrong. Nothing could possibly
Nothing
go
at
wrong.
all.
Fine. So yeah. Go ahead and roll to reduce your stress. You've got 1 die. Just roll a d6, and then reduce stress by that amount.
Ham.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bad, man.
maybe you're not so confident in Farouk's plan, but you're doing it anyway.
Why not? I would have done the opposite, basically. So, yeah, I'll go there and I'll
with the wife in tow.
I'll tell the wife tell your husband that we've sent you back as good faith, and you know, if he keeps his mouth shut, his daughter will follow in time.
Okay, yeah. So she's frightened by you and all of the everything that has happened since you took her hostage, the hostile presence that she could feel in wherever she was within the bridge from that. So this, I'm assuming that you're telling her this before you release her, so you can get an extra die to your reduce heat roll. Basically, you're either it sounds like you're commanding her to go back and tell her husband about this.
Well, maybe I'm releasing her, and then as the reduce heat itself, I'm trying to find the kid to eventually return her as well.
Okay.
So that releasing her is just following Farouk's orders and then reducing stress and then finding the kid. Okay. If I succeed or not, is
gotcha. What are you gonna do to try to find this kid?
I don't think Lan would be very smart about it. I think he would just go around the streets and try to find the kid. Maybe, look at the movements of or try to think of where a kid would hide, but then completely failing at knowing such kind of things because he didn't grow up in any normal way. He's never been a normal kid. So he's just going to try and figure out where she'll be.
Okay.
By
counting.
I
mean, is that maybe are you maybe hunting for her?
Sure.
Okay.
I would maybe survey works better because I would probably try to follow her trail and see, are there any signs of breaking? Did she leave any physical signs? Maybe
she might have.
That was what I would be looking for to see if she, if there's footsteps in the mud or things like that.
Yeah, you might be able to follow a physical trail like that. So, cool. Yeah, I'm willing to say that you can go ahead and roll hunt or not hunt. Geez, we just said not hunt.
Survey.
Survey. That's the word. Roll a survey, and that's going to be your reduce heat roll. So,
I guess I did.
Oh dang, nice. So a 6 on reduce heat is going to reduce the heat by I think 3. Yeah,
very
that
nice.
takes away. That's all your heat. Dang, you find her. Yeah. Tell me how you find her.
Before we reduce the heat, let me go to Farouk and ask him. Ask him that. Tell him I found a girl and ask him what he wants to do with her, what we should do with her. If he has different plans for her, like enrolling her into the cult or something like that, then the heat might not be reduced.
Yeah. We should.
I think that would totally be land to go to Farouk anyway.
Okay. So yeah, given that option, Farouk would definitely insist that we well, he wouldn't use these terms, but that we begin brainwashing. Hang on to her for, at the very least, hang on to her for future good behavior.
Heat is that you found the girl and you start brainwashing her. So when you release her out there, back to her family, it's a matter of how wonderful the Shroud of Diania was to her, and that being taken hostage was really for her own good. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it.
Excellent.
Put this down here.
My suggestion would be to reduce the heat by less, but then have her exist as, being brainwashed.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you 2 on that in that case. If you want to clear all of the heat anyway, you can spend a coin to have both, all of your heat gone and her brainwashed.
I don't have any coins, so.
Well, you can spend it from the cult, or Farouk could spend it.
Sure, let's spend it from the cult.
All right.
That sounds like a worthy investment.
I love it. All right, done.
I mean, I suppose we that one bit of heat is not really a problem, but
having no heat is usually for the best, because you're not always going to have such smooth scores. So anytime you can go into a score with no heat is much better, because when you go into a score with like 5 heat, you're probably going to gain a wanted level.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark, what about Zig? We've been ignoring you here. What do you want to do for your downtime?
So, basically, I think it's just time to experiment a little and get to know some new tinctures and potions, and to reduce my stress with that.
Okay, yeah.
I would have returned the bottle of screaming puddle, by the way.
Of course. Do you want to do that scene real quick first, or do you want to just have returned it?
That's up to Zing. If he wants to scold me, then
go ahead.
So does he want to scold me? Will I bring it back, or will I just sneak in and put it back and like nothing happened, really?
Well,
it's fine.
I would imagine that I already told you that I don't approve that you didn't ask me. I think that's about it. It's normal for me that you put it back afterwards. I mean, if you would, then I would be really pissed.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. So reducing stress, I should just roll a d6 or.
Yep. Well, you roll a d6 based on your lowest stat, which let me look at your character sheet. So 1. Yeah, it's just 1. You don't have any. You just roll 1d6. That's fine. 2 stress reduced.
That is not great, but it could have been worse. By 1. Literally.
Could have been worse. Yeah. What would you like to do for your second downtime action?
I did not find out the nature of that being down there.
That's true.
Last time.
You have not figured it out yet. You're close. You are very close.
So, trying to use some of my new inventions on that being and talking about it, analyzing it, and trying to do my best. As always. maybe look up in our library that we have.
Oh yeah, you guys have a fine occult library, so maybe you can find out something there. So that sounds like if you're going to be using that library, that sounds like you're going to be doing a study roll.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have great effect if you succeed. Well, you're going to succeed, but you'll get basically a bonus here. Go ahead and roll.
So, yeah, and bonus is just an extra die, or how?
No, it's basically going to give you a boost to whatever you roll after you roll.
And if I take my apprentice as help?
Yes. Victor, your apprentice, is helping you look through these books with you. And he will, he'll help you try to figure this out, so you can get an extra die for that for sure.
I could volunteer myself as a test subject since the creature has some kind of a hold on me.
Well, you can only get one extra die from the helping, and he totally rolled a 6, which is more than what he needed to. Well, no, it's exactly what he needed to clear this clock. So
there'll be plenty of other opportunities to martyr yourself, Lan.
Damn. I guess I'll be patient then.
I guess I'll figure out a different time that I can turn crazy and whatever. I'm gonna figure out a name for this thing. Did I already come up with one and then not write it down? Let's see. I did! Aha. No, this was the other one. I lied. Good. Brilliant. Even better. Okay. You find out the name of this creature is Ixis. And it is caught between worlds. Basically, it is living entirely in the shadow, in the ghost realm, in the ghost veil right now. Yes, that is correct. That's the spelling of it, Ixis. This is some kind of horror from beyond reality that had been summoned to this cathedral hundreds of years ago, and something bound it so that it could not return to beyond reality, but it also could not exist in the physical realm, and it's trapped in the Ghost Veil right now.
Well, not as trapped anymore since Farouk gave it permission to leave.
Yeah, it's still trapped in the Ghost Veil, but it's no longer bound to within the bridge. So it can now move anywhere within the Ghost Veil, but it still can't manifest into reality, and it cannot return to the beyond.
All right. So anything about what it can do, what we needed to do to bound it to the physical world, or anything really from how we could approach the situation?
You're fairly sure you do not actually want it to manifest in the physical world, that's a bad idea.
Sounds great!
But if we make a pact with it and it helps us.
Diana might be on board, so basically, you get an inkling that its very presence, I mean, you already can feel its presence from the Ghost Veil pressing onto the physical plane, and that is that unease that's giving your sanctuary a bonus, it also but if it was to fully manifest, it could potentially cause trauma just to look at it.
Sounds like a good weapon.
It could be. So do you want to think about, I mean, you've got one more, no, you used both of your downtime actions.
Yes.
If you'd like to spend a coin to start a new project clock, you can start a 12 clock for how can we allow Ixis to manifest on the physical plane.
Yeah, sure.
I think wouldn't it be
take my money.
Wouldn't it be a more fun idea to not allow Ixis to be here as such, but allow some of his powers or her powers or its powers to help us. So not give Ixis direct access, but to some way like sap some of its powers, or try to sap some of its powers, or use or bind it to something in a certain way, to an item or something, that the item becomes more powerful or something like that.
Well, what do you want to do, Zig?
I'd be willing to help with that.
I'm just trying to find out how we can use this ghost, whatever it is, to our gain. So that's why I'm not trying to find out how to get it back into the realm where it was. So I don't care as long as it's effective for us, and it's something I have to find out and invent and have my fun with it. I don't care that much. I'm open-minded for the whatever comes out in the end of my research. I'm open-minded. It's not that if I see someone with a broken leg, I don't only see one possibility, like curing that leg, but I see many opportunities on the way. Like giving the leg its own life, or
okay.
or making it
splitting it into two separate legs.
Whatever.
No, that would be crazy, ridiculous. No way. Wait. Actually, no, that's a good idea.
So I've put a new clock on your character sheet to find a way to harness Ixis's power for the Shroud of Diania.
Yeah.
That's a 12 clock, and if you want to go ahead and roll on that, you paid your coin, so you can do that if you'd like.
Sure, I'd like to. So,
are we studying again, or are you gonna try to attune with it, or how are you
I have a
experimenting
library
here?
I mean, you could experiment on me this time, surely.
Yeah, Len wants to.
Maybe Victor is busy, and maybe you can find a way to harness its power, through my body or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the most effective way, whatever it might be.
That's certainly
if you
a way
are
that
helping,
might be.
Then, yeah, nice.
Okay. Yeah.
But I still will use study for that, because
Study me.
We got a great library. I'm clearly better at using it too. And it might mess with my head. Then cannot clearly use it to my advantage.
Okay. You got 5?
That's normally a good thing.
Yeah,
but
no, that's
kind of
good.
disappointing after all the 6s.
I know. Right?
I mean, I was on a roll.
So you guys are going to get a bonus to that because of the Fine Occult Library. So I'll give you 3 ticks on your clock. And actually, if you want to have a devil's bargain, I can give a tick to Lan's clock of the influence of the possessive influence if you want to roll an extra die and see if you get a 6.
Well, it's not my mind, so whatever, sure.
It's not my mind either. It's the mind of of Diania, of the shroud.
I just have to roll.
Just
roll
roll
the-
just roll 1d6 and
Okay.
see what comes up. Not enough to give you any extra ticks on the clock, but it's more fun for Lan this way.
I regret nothing. I saw the opportunity and I tried to take it.
As you do. All right, Farouk, you have a chance here to do some downtime activities. What do you want to do?
All right. Well, I think I should try and recover some because I'm pretty beat up, actually.
That's true. Yeah, you've got 2 different types of harm. Grazed abdomen, where you got shot at, and you're susceptible to influence because of something you inhaled that Zig made. So yeah, you can start a recovery clock by taking the recover action. That immediately removes all level 1 harm, so your graze gets cleaned up and starts to heal. What kind of treatment are you gonna go ahead and seek?
Well, we have an in-house doctor, right?
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Nothing could go wrong there, surely.
Are you gonna?
Well, okay. Since he is a fellow member of the cult, yeah, Farouk will go to Zig seeking treatment, certain that Zig's hand will be guided by Diania in this. Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that
process.
you're under the influence of his own drug, totally. So you don't actually get to make any ticks on the clock. You just get to start with 0 and say you're on the road to recovery.
Okay.
And
yeah, I
then-
didn't realize how hard that's going to be. That is to get rid of. Oh well.
It is. It is. But you can now take a downtime, a second downtime action, as a to recover, a long-term, to use your long-term project clock here.
Okay. Well, I think that my other downtime action will be a long-term project, but not the recovery long-term project. There's the obsession of birthing demons into the world that must be addressed. It's important. So, how do I want to go about doing that? I guess I will just I haven't actually studied on it. I've done consorting and trying to and otherwise talking to spirits to look into how to accomplish this. I think now I'm just gonna since I'm trying to recover anyway, just sit down and read a bit and continue to work on this the great project.
Okay, so you're just gonna sit there and read. Are you looking into how to become demon pregnant, or how to create a birthing chamber that will allow the human parent and the demon child to both survive this process?
I guess the birthing chamber, since I'm planning to go first.
Okay.
So that's a study with. So do I get an extra die for the occult library, or that just decreases in effect?
It's going to increase the effect. Is there? I mean, are there any of your adepts that you would want to request help in searching this with you here? Let's see.
I think the answer is going to be yes.
Elizabeth is bookish, a bookish scholar. Probably would be a good choice to help you out in this situation.
Sure. So yeah, I'll be all. Elizabeth, I require you for a project.
And she looks up from the book that she was reading. Yes, Farooq, I'll do whatever you need. She stands up and comes over to you.
Excellent. It shall be an opportunity to allow the spirit, the great spirit, to extend itself farther into our realm. And then I'll go on about how exciting it is to be a part of this great work. And, and, you know.
Yeah. So her eyes light up with zealous fervor.
Excellent.
And she says, absolutely, Farooq. I will help you in this.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, 5's not bad. Normally that would be 3 ticks. I will give you 4 because you are using a fine library.
Sweet.
So you are halfway there. Would you like to spend a coin to get yourself an extra downtime action, or are you satisfied with what you have done so far?
Do I want to spend my remaining coin to...
Of course, the work must continue as fast as possible.
You're right.
Would you give up your coin, or would you choose like the greed of keeping your coin over serving Diania?
Never.
Rook.
But I think I will, with the extra action, just try and I will pursue the project of recovering some more so that I might better serve our goddess.
Okay. So yeah, you can spend your coin, and then so if you're recovering, we're gonna use Zig's tinker to make you a drug to counteract this other drug.
Great! How very modern.
Nothing can go wrong.
No, it's totally fine. Unless there's another way that you would like to continue healing, but that was kind of how you expressed that you started this healing process.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
I figured that's how you continue it. Zig, would you like to roll your tinker +1?
Well, what do you think?
Nice.
Sweet.
All right, it's not a crit, but that is really good. That's 3 on your project clock to heal up. So,
By the way, do I get experience for something like this or not?
Yeah, this is a challenge with technical skill. You can get a playbook advance for that for sure.
And the ones before with the stuff like experimenting and the studying thing. The studying I imagine not, but
studying not really, and the experimenting you were indulging your vice. You weren't really addressing any particular challenge. You were entertaining yourself.
Okay, fair enough. I ask every time I'm unsure, so.
No, that's good. That's totally good. Let's see. All right. And Farooq, you can take one for your researching, because that's addressing with knowledge as you are.
Do I get any for running to Farouk for everything?
You will at the end, because that is
okay. That's at the end.
During play, you get bonuses for addressing challenges with violence and threats, which
The desperate action.
and of course desperate actions. Yeah. Okay. But you didn't really do that during this downtime. So.
And so the addressing a challenge with arcane power or knowledge, does that go towards insight, or can it go towards playbook?
It must go towards your playbook.
All right.
So, cool. That sounds like the end of downtime, unless you guys want to start spending the cult's coins. Because I think you are all now broke.
What can we spend the cult's coins for?
Doing additional downtime action, just like before.
Okay.
You can also spend the reputation of the cult to get more downtime actions. Basically, that kind of represents you guys taking time from away from building up your reputation and kind of doing side projects and falling out of the notice of the other gangs, which makes it harder for you to maintain your hold and such. So you can, if you'd like to instead spend reputation instead of coin, you could do that as well.
That sounds horrible.
Could I spend a coin to de-stress again? Because I basically
didn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I would like to spend a cult coin then.
All right.
Dan would feel very ashamed to spend cult money.
And how do you go to Farouk with this? You're spending this money to help him out in some way.
Should we have free coins for the cult right now?
You did, and then you spent one.
No, I thought we had 4 coins, and then now we should have 3.
No. We already spent one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't remember. Sorry.
What did we spend it on? I remember that we spent one, but what did
definitely remember that you spent it. I think I don't remember what it was on, but it definitely happened a little while ago.
I spent my own. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it also helped.
Lon.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And then
I remember it was
Lana and I spent our individual coins. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was to create the effect of the fact that both we would reduce all the heat, as well as the fact that the girl would be brainwashed.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Get full effect out of both.
Mm-hmm.
Spent the coin for that. So, basically I go with the coin to Farouk and ask how to spend it to help the greater good of the cult. So, Farouk, what do you want me to do with this money to make the cult better and greater?
Let me see.
Should I buy more books?
No, we need more converts. Spend it essentially in advertising. We shall hire town criers to sing out the praises of Diania and to call them in to us.
Okay, I will go out and find the most strange-looking town criers to cry out the praise of Diania.
You're right.
Gather more followers. Or, scare them to us because they don't want to walk past those people, so they have to go over. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Please roll. Let's see.
What is this? Why am I always rolling low on de-stressing?
Let's see.
I guess it's better than nothing then.
Because the dice are going to crap out somewhere, and...
I mean, you guys have been rolling really well, so don't complain the few times when you get some shit rolls, because that's how life works. Sometimes...
And too high would be bad, too, unless you had... Or do you already have 6 stress?
I had exactly 6 stress, so 6 would have been totally fine.
About stress. If you reach 9 stress, you're going crazy, or if you reach 10 stress?
9 stress.
Okay, and you can get maximum stress per resist?
So the maximum stress you can get for resisting something is 5.
Okay.
Because the lowest you can roll on a die is 1, and then you take 6 and subtract whatever your die roll was. So if you roll the lowest, you'd be taking 6, subtract 1, 5 stress for resistance.
So
I think
technically now I can already go crazy.
So actually, I think in that case I will just distress as well and use a coin.
Remember, if you overindulge and roll higher than how much stress you have left, then exciting things get to happen. So please roll really high.
Oh, and your Kelsey, your mic is acting up again.
Thank you.
I see what the designers did here. Do you have to risk it any way?
So you're gonna spend a cult coin to indulge your vice a little bit further?
Yes.
Sig? All right, you get 1d6.
Woo! I'm on 0.
4
Perfect.
is exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Nice.
But yes, the John Harper, who is the designer, is very clever man. I like him.
Yeah.
I see what he did here.
Oh yeah. All right. And finally, you got one coin left. Are you is Lon gonna spend that or to try to de-stress again?
I mean,
or are you guys gonna come up with a new?
If Lan was
mission?
anybody else, he would have. Lan's Lan.
Fair. All right. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Do we want to take a break now and then come back into planning our next score, or do you want to do that real quick, decide what it's going to be, and then take a break before jumping into it?
Let's take a break because my hands are really sticky and I would love to wash them.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll be back.
Your hands are sticky, Mark.
Yeah, I agree. Your hands are very, very sticky.
I'm just teasing.
So,
palms are sweaty. There's vomit on the sweater already.
So, we'll be back in about 5. Please stick around. And we will start some more trouble.
A lot of trouble, hopefully.
Yes.
Bye. Hi, sweetie girl.